Do you have those days where you just want to relax, where you just want to forget about the world, forget about the rest, forget about your life, and you decide to choose one of your comfort movies? Okay, so what we're gonna do today is we're gonna talk about my top 10 comfort horror movies, and this video is quite special because I'm gonna be collaborating with Haunted Hippie. Her name is Kylie, and make sure you watch her video because I'm sure our tops are gonna be so different, and I think that's the best idea, and I think that's very funny because like that we can discover different horror movies, and I think that's so cool. Just bear in mind that because these movies are in my comfort horror movies, it doesn't mean like they are my top 10 of all time, because some movies that I love on my top 10 of all time, they are not on this list, and these movies are just when I don't know what to watch, I will always play one of these movies because I always have a good time and I always relax while watching them. So sit back, relax, bring a snack, bring a coffee, your friends, enemies, and just enjoy this video. And welcome back to another video here on this channel, Royal Horror.
Jungle of love.
Just remember that this list is not in a particular order. It doesn't mean like the last movie is the worst and that the top one is the best. Coming on the number 10 position, we have the remake When a Stranger Calls from 2006. Now, this movie is only an hour and 27 minutes, which I think is very calm. You can even watch this movie with your family. Just bear in mind, of course, it is a home invasion. So if you're not really into watching home invasion movies, maybe skip this one. But I think this is very easy to watch. It's short. Great acting by all the cast, great storyline, and the photography, in my opinion, is so well done and it's so beautiful to watch. Alright, coming at number 9, we have Wrong Turn from 2003. Now, most of these movies, I don't know why, but most of them are slashers, and even though slashers are not my favorite subgenre, and at the same time this movie passes so quick, it's only an hour and 25 minutes, 30 minutes maybe. If you want a full review, I will link the link up here because I already reviewed this whole movie. Coming at number 8, we have The Purge, Anarchy from 2014. Now, it's not a secret that I love The Purge, the whole franchise and the TV series. And for me, The Purge is very, very underrated. If you want to know why, I will link another video that I did about unpopular horror opinions, and I give more explanation of why The Purge is underrated. And I always love Purge 2, Anarchy, because I think it's the movie that really explains what happens outside in Purge night. Now, coming on the number 7, we have I Know What You Did Last Summer from 1997. Now, the main reason that I love and the main reason why I watched this movie is because of the plot. This movie has a very special place in my heart because this is the movie that I watched for the first time ever with my best friend, and we didn't know what to expect. We just went blind and we both loved it, and I think that's why this movie is always in my comfort zone when it comes to horror movies, because I will always remember how fun it was the first time that I watched this with my best friend, and I think that's why it's gonna be so special. And at the same time, great characters, one of the best chase scenes of all time. Coming at number 6, we have the remake Friday the 13th from 2009. Now, if you know me, you will know that this movie is my favorite horror movie of all freaking time. And I have so many reasons, most of them are biased, most of them are my personal opinions of why I love this movie so much and why it's my favorite. I know many people hate this movie because maybe the characters are so cheesy, blah blah blah, but I loved it, to be honest. This is the first horror movie that I went to watch at the cinemas. This is the scariest Jason, the Jason that has no mercy at all. I actually love the characters because it's a Friday the 13th movie. You cannot expect clever characters because it just doesn't happen in a Friday the 13th movie, and these characters, they feel like very 2000s, like very late 2000s, and that's the era where I grew up. I will always love this movie. It actually scared me the first time that I watched it. And coming at number 5, I have 2 movies. They are from the same franchise. I couldn't choose between them because I love them so much. I love them like equally. And those movies are the remake from Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2003 and the prequel from that remake from 2006. Now, again, this franchise, I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre. If you know me, you will know that I love it. I love Leatherface, I love Sally, I love Erin. I love every single character that this franchise has. I know this franchise is a mess because it's not constant. It just doesn't make sense in the timeline. But the remake is like, for me, it's one of the best remakes ever made. Erin is one of the best final girls. It's not the best one, but I just love the whole acting, the whole photography, how this movie makes you feel so many emotions. For example, you feel dirty because the characters, they are so wet, and you just feel scared for the characters. One of the best chase scenes. I will always love this movie. And when it comes to the prequel from 2006, I think this movie is darker, it's scarier because it has more gore. Leatherface is scarier, and the characters, even though it's a prequel, you love them. I also love the plot from this movie. And I don't know, I think the prequel from 2006 is very, very underrated because people hate it. I don't know why. I think this movie is the proof of what Texas Chainsaw Massacre has to give to the audience. Now, coming at number 4, I included a whole franchise because I couldn't choose between all of them. This franchise is short because it's only 5 films, and that franchise is the Final Destination franchise. Now, this franchise, I don't know how many times I'm gonna say franchise, but this franchise, I love all of them. I think this franchise is very unique, very original, and very scary because this is one of the movies, Final Destination 1 through 5, that makes you feel scared of your environment because you can actually die for any reason, and you can be the reason of your own death, and I think that's quite scary. I already did a ranking, I will leave the link up here, and I will explain why I decided to choose the best one and the worst one, the reasons why. And I don't know, I just loved a good original movie, and I think that's what Final Destination gives, a great original concept. Now, coming at number 3 is Scream 4 from 2011. I just reviewed this movie, so I'm not gonna talk too much about it. I will leave the link up here. Now, the main reason why I love this movie is because this movie came out in an era that I grew up. This movie came out in 2011, I was around 12, and I really loved horror at that time, but when I watched this movie, I actually felt scared. I think it's very dark. The deaths are great, the blood is great, and the characters are amazing. I'm not gonna talk too much about it because I literally just reviewed this movie last week. So if you wanna see my full thoughts of this movie, click the link up here and you will know why I love this movie so much. Now, coming at number 2, we have another remake, and this time is House of Wax from 2005. Now, this is another movie that I think is very, very underrated, and the main reason is because people hate Paris Hilton for her performance and stuff. We are not gonna talk about of her as a person, but I really liked her performance in this movie. I think her character was like quite enjoyable, and her chase scene was very cool. I actually love this movie because I have watched it so many times. It gives me so many childhood memories, and I think this movie, even though it's an hour and 45 minutes, I think this movie goes so quick. I love the whole Wax Museum, the characters, great final girl, great final boy, and I just love this movie so much, and I think it's very underrated and it's a great slasher. Now, before we go into the number 1, I just want to say don't forget to follow me on my social media. I love doing posters, edits, interact with people, different videos as well that I don't upload on YouTube, and I just like to have fun, so don't forget to hit the follow me button over there, and also don't forget to check Kylie's video. Now, before I mention the number 1, and remember, this is not in a particular order, so the number 1 is not my favorite because I love all of them. I just want to say a few honorable mentions, and those are The Strangers from 2008. I love home invasions. I love this movie, but this is not one of my comfort ones because this movie is very disturbing, it's very scary, and it's very terrifying in my opinion. So if I am by my own at my house and I want to watch a comfort movie, this is not a movie that I will watch because it's a home invasion, and even though I love this subgenre, I think I prefer to watch one of the movies that I have mentioned before instead of The Strangers, but I love The Strangers so much. And my finally honorable mention is It Follows from 2014. Another underrated movie. I don't know why this movie has received so many hate. I think this movie actually talks about a very important topic that society wants to avoid, and I don't know why. I think the photography is very well done, the scares are very well done, and I think this movie deserves more recognition. Now, to conclude this top of my horror comfort movies, let's talk about Jennifer's Body from 2009. Now, I don't know what else I have to say about this movie. This movie is iconic. This movie will always be legendary. My girl Megan Fox is on this. I love her so much. I think she deserves so many recognition from Hollywood and from horror fans and non-horror fans. And this movie, you know I love demons, and this movie knew how to combine horror plus comedy. And even though I'm not a big comedy fan, I think this movie really knows how to combine that. I think it knows how to combine demons with teenagers. And I personally feel very connected with this movie, and I will always love it for that. This brings me so many childhood memories, and every time that I don't know what to watch, I will always press Jennifer's Body or any of the movies from this list, because this movie goes so quick. The soundtrack, the photography, the performance. I love Megan Fox, I will always do, and I'm so thankful she's part of a horror movie, and that's why Jennifer's Body is one of my comfort horror movies. Alright everyone, so I really hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comment section below which is your favorite comfort movie from this list, or if you wanted to include more, which ones are your comfort movies. I would love to read those. Don't forget to subscribe, give a like and leave a comment. That really helps me in tremendous ways. So I hope you have a great end of the week, and I will see you on the next video. Bye bye.